The 1-Hour Visitor, Chapter 1. The Strange Signal. In a quiet town surrounded by forests and hills, scientist Sarah Miller worked in her home lab. She was passionate about space and always searched for unusual signals from the stars. One evening, her equipment picked up a signal that repeated every hour. It was not a natural sound. It was rhythmic and precise, like someone tapping on glass. Sarah's heart raced. Could this be a message from another world, she thought. She stayed up all night recording the signal. The next day, Sarah contacted her friend and fellow scientist, Dr. Ethan Carter. Ethan specialized in decoding unknown patterns. They worked together to analyze the signal. "It's a code," Ethan said, adjusting his glasses. "A countdown. It's set to end tonight." Chapter 2. The Arrival. At exactly 8 p.m., the countdown reached 0. Suddenly, the lights in Sarah's house flickered, and a strange hum filled the air. A bright blue light shone outside her window. Sarah and Ethan rushed outside. Standing in the middle of Sarah's backyard was a tall, glowing figure. It had a smooth, silvery body, and its eyes shone like tiny stars. "Do not fear," the being said in a calm, musical voice. "I am Xorak, a traveler from the Andromeda Galaxy. I am here for 1 hour only." Sarah and Ethan were speechless. "I chose this location because your signal intrigued us. We have observed Earth but never interacted before," Xorak explained. "Tonight, I will answer your questions. In return, I will ask for one thing." Chapter 3. Questions and Answers. Sarah and Ethan wasted no time. "Why are you here?" Sarah asked. "To understand. Your planet is one of many, but your creativity and emotions are unique," Xorak replied. "Are there others like you?" Ethan asked. "Yes, but we live far apart, communicating only through light and thought," Xorak said. "We avoid physical meetings because they often lead to conflict. Yet, your planet has taught us the value of connection." Sarah's curiosity grew. "Do you have technology that can save our planet from climate change?" Xorak nodded. "We could offer solutions, but they would change your world too quickly. Such sudden changes often harm rather than help. Humanity must find balance on its own." Ethan frowned. "What happens if we don't?" Xorak's glow dimmed slightly. "Your species will face challenges, but survival depends on learning from mistakes. We can guide, but we cannot intervene directly." Chapter 4. The Request. The hour was almost over. Xorak turned to Sarah and Ethan. "I have answered your questions. Now I have one request," Xorak said. "What is it?" Sarah asked nervously. Xorak's voice softened. "I need one object that represents humanity's greatest strength. It will help my kind understand you better." Sarah and Ethan looked at each other. What could they give? A book? A piece of art? A scientific invention? Finally, Sarah picked up a photo from her pocket. It showed her and her family together, laughing. "This," she said. "A photograph?" Xorak asked, tilting its head. "Yes," Sarah said. "It represents love, connection, and memories. These are our greatest strengths." Xorak studied the photo for a moment. "This is perfect. Thank you, Sarah." Chapter 5. Departure. As the hour ended, Xorak's glow brightened again. "Your kindness and wisdom give me hope for your species," it said. The bright blue light surrounded Xorak, and it began to fade. "Farewell, Sarah and Ethan. Perhaps we will meet again." And just like that, Xorak was gone. The backyard was quiet once more. The photo Sarah had given was also gone, but she felt a sense of peace. Chapter 6. The Legacy. In the days that followed, Sarah and Ethan shared their experience with others. Some believed them, while others didn't. But Sarah knew the truth. Months later, strange signals began appearing across the world. Scientists discovered they contained helpful data about renewable energy, medicine, and environmental recovery. The signals were anonymous, but Sarah knew who had sent them. Xorak's visit had changed everything, proving that even brief encounters can leave lasting impacts. And somewhere far away, in a galaxy millions of light years from Earth, a glowing being held a photo, understanding humanity a little better. The 1-Hour Visitor, Extended. Chapter 7. The Aftermath. After Xorak's departure, Sarah and Ethan tried to return to their routines, but their encounter haunted their thoughts. They couldn't forget the strange signals now spreading worldwide. Every scientist who received the signals found solutions to Earth's problems encoded in them. Governments and researchers scrambled to verify the data. Some embraced the findings, using the new knowledge to tackle climate change and diseases. Others were skeptical, fearing alien interference could be a trick. Sarah and Ethan watched in silence, wondering if Xorak's gift would unite or divide humanity. One night, as Sarah worked in her lab, her equipment buzzed again. This time, the signal wasn't a countdown. It was a map. Chapter 8. The map. The map pointed to a remote desert in the middle of nowhere. Sarah and Ethan realized it wasn't for the public. It was directed at them. "This must be where Xorak wants us to go," Sarah said. "But why us?" "We're just scientists," Ethan replied, feeling uneasy. Determined to uncover the truth, they packed supplies and began their journey. The desert was vast and empty, and after hours of driving, they reached the coordinates. At the exact location, they found a large metallic disc buried halfway in the sand. Chapter 9. The Artifact. The disc was covered in strange symbols that shimmered under the sunlight. Sarah touched it carefully, and to her surprise, the symbols began to glow. "This is alien technology," Ethan whispered, awestruck. The disc vibrated and opened like a blooming flower. Inside was a small orb, hovering and emitting a soft hum. Sarah and Ethan stared at it, unsure of what to do. A voice echoed in their minds. "This is a key to greater understanding. Use it wisely." It was Xorak's voice. Chapter 10. Unlocking Knowledge. Back in Sarah's lab, they studied the orb. When activated, it projected holograms of galaxies, star systems, and advanced technologies. The data inside the orb was overwhelming: blueprints for machines that could reverse pollution, methods for growing endless food, and cures for deadly diseases. But there was a warning. The orb's message said, "Knowledge is power. Misused, it will destroy." Ethan was cautious. "If we share this with the world, governments might use it as a weapon." "But if we don't, millions could suffer," Sarah countered. They decided to release the information gradually, sharing only solutions that wouldn't lead to conflict. Chapter 11. The Shadow Government. Their actions didn't go unnoticed. A secret government agency, known as Project Sentinel, tracked the signals and the orb's activities. Agents arrived at Sarah's home, demanding she hand over the artifact. "This knowledge isn't meant for you alone," said Agent Drake, the team leader. Sarah refused. "It's not meant for war or control. It's meant to save lives." The agents tried to take the orb, but as they touched it, the orb emitted a bright light, throwing them back. It seemed to reject anyone with harmful intentions. Realizing the orb's power, Project Sentinel declared Sarah and Ethan as fugitives. Chapter 12. On the run, Sarah and Ethan fled their town, taking the orb with them. They became the focus of a global manhunt. To evade capture, they encrypted their findings and leaked them anonymously to scientists and humanitarian organizations worldwide. Each leak brought hope: a new medicine, a faster way to clean oceans, an energy source that didn't harm the planet. But with each release, Project Sentinel grew more desperate to find them. Chapter 13. The Global Awakening. Despite the government's attempts to suppress the orb's knowledge, people around the world began to collaborate. Borders mattered less as scientists and innovators worked together, inspired by the alien wisdom. Xorak was right, Sarah said one night as they hid in a forest. Humanity's greatest strength is connection. But Ethan was troubled. What happens if the wrong people get the orb? Before Sarah could answer, the orb began glowing again. Chapter 14. The Return of Xorak. The blue light appeared in the forest just as it had months ago. Xorak emerged, his presence as calming as before. "You have done well," Xorak said, "but the orb has fulfilled its purpose. It is time for it to return with me." Sarah hesitated. "We've only just begun to use it. There's so much more we can do." Xorak shook his head. "The orb is a seed, not a solution. The rest is up to humanity. If it remains here, it will become a source of conflict." Reluctantly, Sarah handed the orb to Xorak. "Will we ever see you again?" she asked. "Perhaps," Xorak replied. "When your species reaches the stars, we will meet as equals." Chapter 15. A New Era. With the orb gone, Sarah and Ethan felt both relieved and uncertain. The knowledge they had shared was now in humanity's hands. Project Sentinels stopped hunting them, and they were able to return to their lives, though nothing would ever be the same. Around the world, people continued to use the alien knowledge to rebuild the planet. Slowly but surely, Earth began to heal. Sarah often wondered if Xorak would keep his promise. She looked to the stars every night, knowing that out there, someone was watching. And one day, she believed, humanity would be ready for its next encounter.